What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and today we are going to talk about Married to Medicine, Season 9, Episode 4. And can I tell you something? Anila, you shady. All right, y'all, let's get into it, shall we? All right, y'all. So the episode starts off with Heavenly still pissed because she done got ambushed, and Contessa is obviously still mad at her. And Simone is shown walking behind her, trying to get her to slow down and talk to her. And Heavenly is like, nope, I ain't got time today. I'm not dealing with this. I'm outie 5,000. Okay. So Quad says back down into in the theater room of it all with the cinematic presentation they just did. Quad says, I'm not saying what you did was wrong, talking to the ladies, but an ambush is not the way because she isn't going to understand what is going on. And Simone says there is no way to actually approach Heavenly. So Dr. Jackie, in the midst of all of the craziness of them talking about what they had just did, she calls Dr. Heavenly and says, where are you? Are you okay? I just want to check on you. And Heavenly says, I'm still outside, but I'm not coming in there. So Jackie proceeds to leave the house so she can go and check on her friend. Okay. So outside, as they're chatting, Heavenly says she didn't put anything out there about Contessa's husband that wasn't already talked about on the show. So she's still confused as to why everybody is so mad about this. And I'm on the fence with this whole thing because for me, yes, did they talk about it on the show? For sure. But there is no way somebody that I hold so true and so close to me, such as Heavenly claims that Contessa is for her, will I be dogging her on my YouTube channel. Now, I watch Heavenly's YouTube channel. And so for me, I didn't really see her dogging Contessa like that. Like, I think that now she did have some choice things to say that I was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't talk about that. But for the most part, the way she goes after Toya and everybody else, and I don't think that she really gave it to Contessa the way that Contessa is acting like she gave it to her. So I just really I don't get it. So I just don't think that this warranted everything that Contessa gave. It didn't give what it needed to give, obviously. But I also watched Heavenly's recent live from last week where she brought up that Contessa actually brought her daughter downstairs. But at the beginning of the episode, I thought that Contessa said that the family was gone. She said that, Scott had taken the children, they went out and did something so that they would have the house to themselves to deal with whatever was going to happen with Heavenly. But she said that she brought Layla, Heavenly said in her YouTube video that Contessa brought Layla downstairs, and Layla basically was addressing Heavenly to the point of saying, she was trying to break up her parents, or she was telling her mama's business or something like that. And I was like, why are we involving your children in your minutia? It was just giving a lot. I would never bring my kids into this situation. And that makes sense if Bravo didn't record that, because I don't know what the viewers would have really looked at that as. Like, what type of tactics are you using bringing your kid downstairs while you guys are having some sort of intervention? Listen, my mama used to always tell me stay out of grown folk conversations when I was a kid. And this is definitely a grown folk conversation. But anyway, outside, Dr. Jackie and Heavenly are talking, and she basically is like, Heavenly is like, listen, Contessa need to be mad at her husband, not mad at me, okay? And that's that on that, and we just gonna leave it at that, okay? So then Jackie says, how can we fix it? And Heavenly says, you know what? I don't know how we can fix it at this point. I need time. So back in the house, Quad and Simone are kind of going back and forth. Quad is basically letting everybody know that this was messed up. Yes, it Heavenly say some messed up stuff, but this was not the way to approach her with the situation. So Quad speaks, and then after she's done talking, Simone begins to speak to give her opinion. And so Quad cuts her off and says, what y'all did is messed up. And I call Heavenly before I have anything to say to her, especially as far as like publicly. Like, I'm going to address her and I'm going to tell her what the hell she did that pissed me off. And that's that on that. I'm not about to be doing no whole ambush. This is totally messed up what y'all did. And Simone gets loud. Both of them getting loud back and forth. And I'm like, child, I ain't think nobody could get louder than damn Simone, child. Okay. So Simone says, you get on Instagram when you're mad at people and you snap. Like, you snapped on Heavenly. So what is you talking about? Like, you definitely come for Heavenly and you do it the same way. Like, this is social media. We're on TV doing this, basically, is what she ain't say it, but she is saying it without saying it. And Toya is over there like, these heifers is over here arguing about Heavenly and doing the same thing. Like, they're basically talking about exactly what we did and doing the same thing. And I'm like, wow. So Quad says, you damn right I snapped, but I talked to her first. And then Simone says, well, if you drag me, I choose who I with because this is America. And at that point, y'all, I couldn't even, I lost it. I started laughing too because I was like, okay, so how can you continue to be mad at that? Like, she basically did the whole situation by saying, listen, not for nothing, but what we're not going to do is keep on dragging this out because Heavenly is going to be Heavenly. And then that's that on that. So Contessa says she didn't understand. Contessa is upstairs. By the way, Contessa is upstairs snatching wigs off. She got a whole robe on. Were you ever going to go downstairs and dismiss your guests, sis? You up here like you ready to go, like, cry in your pillow at bed in bedtime. But your guests are still downstairs. What the hell is going on here? But anyway, Jackie goes upstairs to talk to Contessa, and Jackie allows Heavenly to, Contessa says to Jackie, you know, you allow Heavenly to do this to you all the time. How do you allow this? And Jackie says, it doesn't bother me because she doesn't show, whatever she says is invaluable to me. If she says something about my marriage, I don't let that stuff get to me because it doesn't bother me. Like, it's not valuable information. It's not anything that I'm going to do anything about. So why am I even letting that interrupt my space? And I agree with Jackie. Like, I'm not going to let something that somebody says about me overtake me so much that I'm about to be sitting here watching hours of somebody's YouTube video, making a montage of all the things that you've said about everybody on this cast. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So then Contessa goes on to say that she's embarrassed and Heavenly embarrassed her publicly. So now she gonna embarrass her damn publicly. And that's that on that. And she said Heavenly has been reckless. So now the gloves are off and now she can be reckless too. But my thing, like, come on, Contessa. This was just totally left field extra. Why are you doing the most? You didn't have to do all of this. And I feel like it's very primed up what she did. Like, you are overly upset with Heavenly. And y'all talked about your marriage last year. You and Dr. Scott talked about your marriage last year. He did things on screen. Now, to your defense, should Heavenly have come on her channel and went into detail about things? Absolutely not. I don't know her to have done that. But I did see you on her channel. All of y'all, for the most part, have been on Heavenly's channel talking stuff. So what are you talking? Like, I just think that this is an extra overreaction for what's going on. It's giving Team too much. And it's really giving me that she needs a storyline. So she's just really trumping up the situation. Because everybody has said before the Contessa was boring. So she didn't really become valuable to the cast until she had this whole situation with her husband. Now you trying to argue with Heavenly so that you can stay relevant on the show. Like, I'm gonna need you to find another angle because this is Team Petty. So moving on, Toya goes to Simone's office and she wants to play some trick on Simone. She like brings some coffee and a green smoothie in there. Let me see what y'all saying in the comments. She brings some black coffee and a green smoothie. And the lady up front, first of all, she was just like this when she came in. Like, I'm like, Toya, I don't think Miss Lady, the admin up front, I don't think she like you, sis. And she came in there, Toya being all jovial. She's like, listen, I'm gonna give you the green drink, and I'm gonna go in there and tell her I couldn't get the drink, and I'm gonna just give her some black coffee because she always, she gonna get real mad. So the admin lady said, ma'am, I'm not playing these little games with you. She walks right in the office and gives Simone the green drink. And she's like, oh yeah, here, this is for you. And she was like, you messed up the joke. So anyway, I thought that was hilarious because the front desk lady was like, listen, I got shit to do. I ain't got time to be playing with you. Okay. So Simone and they begin to talk about the night before and what happened with the whole Heavenly situation. And Simone basically says Heavenly is not going to take kindly to this stuff. Like y'all did this whole intervention. I told y'all that it wasn't going to work. And so Toya says Heavenly always talking about everybody else's marriage, but never talks about hers. And then Toya goes on to say she learned how to take negativity out of her spirit. And after that whole situation, she went home, washed her hair, did a facial, and talks about washing feet. Did you sit at Jesus' table, Toya? Talking about washing some damn feet, girl, bye. Your whole life is self care. Like all you do is care about yourself, and you washed your hair. This the same hairstyle that you had today. Did you do this fishtail braid yourself? You ain't wash your hair, sis. Stop. You just went to the hairdresser the day before. Unless they filming this all reckless, you didn't wash your hair because you didn't do that hairstyle back to yourself. Stop, Toya. Toya, I don't know. It's something about her. She just annoys the fuck out of me. She gives me selfish vibes, and I don't like it. So moving on, Anila and Heavenly meet, and she tells Anila it was, Anila says, why were you laughing at the whole situation? And Heavenly was just like, well, I thought it was funny. Like, all of them coming from me and all of that. And this is stuff that y'all clearly talked about on TV. I didn't lie. I didn't say nothing that didn't happen. All of this stuff really happened. So why am I being, chastised like this, basically? And so then she said she wishes Contessa would have called her first. And Dr. Heavenly said, Quad. Then she goes on to talk about Quad saying that a friend of hers told her Eugene said Toya was the worst mistake he ever made. Okay. Now, do I believe that Eugene said that? No, I don't think Eugene said that, because I think that if Eugene was going to say something like that, he knows that it would have gotten back to his wife. Y'all on a whole TV show. So why would you say something like that obviously Toya will find out? She knows a lot of the people that are in your circle. She has friends that are doctors, obviously. So if he said something like that, he had to know it was definitely going to get back to his wife. But on the flip side, he may have said it and not said it in the context that someone told Heavenly it came from. Well, Quad basically is the one that told her. He could have been like, Toya was the worst mistake I ever made, being funny, like, because she spends a lot of money or something like that. Who knows? But I don't think that Eugene would say something like that about his wife. I just don't believe it. Okay. And there was actually an article that I did a video on that y'all can look at on my page, where Eugene actually responded to that. And he said about that comment that Heavenly made, he said, well, that's a load of BS. And Toya responded as well, saying that Heavenly always lying. And Heavenly was like, I don't know what you're referring to, but I ain't never lied. So y'all, whatever. I don't know. So Anila tells Heavenly Quad had her back at the event, but she's upset about her saying she slept with married men. And Heavenly said it's out there, and she, production shows it as if Heavenly was telling her who Quad was supposedly sleeping with and who told her that Quad was doing this. But on Heavenly's channel, she said that was very manipulated. Like, she never said that Quad was sleeping with a married man. She said she doesn't know Quad to be sleeping with married men. She doesn't think that she would do that. And she said I don't know who the hell Quad's sleeping with, because Quad is very private. So I think that looked, because it didn't even look like they put the little asterisk there. Like, they added that in. I don't think Heavenly said that Quad was sleeping with anybody. I think that was just to try to make the whole situation look worse than what it was. And if y'all doing that production, y'all need to stop, because there's enough drama going on here where you ain't got to be making some shit up and making people look worse than they already do. Moving on. Contessa is at her business that she shares with Scott. This was like, why are we even doing this? But I guess they just wanted to showcase their business. There was a former football player in there. He had previously had some surgery. They talked about CT scan, him having any type of short term memory loss, head injuries, whatever. So she was all the only thing I will say, she was all up in homeboy's face. I'm like, Contessa, you made the comment in the first episode about you getting your body right because you always wanted to do this fitness thing, and just in case you and Scott don't work out, then your body already look good. Girl, are you taking prospects in this office? Because you was eyeing homeboy a little too hard, okay? But moving on, Anila is shown in her house, and her son is having a total baby kid moment, an entire meltdown of it all. And she just looks like she don't even know how to handle her own damn children. Like, she's like, what do you want? Are you hungry? Are you? I'm like, girl, have you ever met your son? When my son is melting down and doing crazy shit, I know exactly what it's from. I know if it's because he's tired. I know if it's just because he want to just act like that. I know if it's because he's hungry. And I know if he needs some extra attention in time out. That's what I know. Okay? You don't know your children, Anila. Maybe it was a blessing for Mrs. Gomez to leave so you can get to know your children. And she keeps on talking about, oh, woe is me. You know, I have to take the kids to school. I got to help them with their homework and find time to do my blogging and do this. Isn't that what stay-at-home mamas do? Your husband is busting his ass at work every day, saving lives of it all, making all this money for this overpriced house that y'all done bought. Like, you already done spent all this extra money on this house that he didn't ask you to spend. And now you complain. All he asks from you, or the agreement between y'all, is for you to take care of your children. And you don't even know how to do that or want to do that. What the fuck else are you going to be doing all day, Anila? Let's just riddle me this, Batman. What the hell are you doing all day? Because doing this, hey guys, I just got this new dress. Look at it. Isn't it so cute? Get it from boohoo.com. Girl, are you kidding me? That don't even take that damn long. What you're doing is not real vlogging, sis. And if that's all I got to do to get $500,000 worth of furniture, I'm about to get on this phone and do a little bit more than I'm doing right for my kid with y'all right now. Because clearly my life's work is all wrong. Girl, take care of your kids and stop. So she calls her mother seeking advice. She's like, were we this bad as kids? Or were we bad kids? And the mother said, you have good kids, girl. Basically telling her, suck it up, buttercup. Take care of your damn kids because it ain't that damn difficult. So then she gets off the phone with her. The kids are eating dinner, obviously, while she's on the phone with the mother. And then the little boy has another damn meltdown because he don't want to go to bed. I'm like, girl, you see him do this with Miss Gomez all the time. Do you not ever step in when Miss Gomez was having issues with the kids? I guess you just like, I'm paying her, whatever. You deal with that shit. Those are your damn kids, girl. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. People with 9-to-5 jobs making much less money than y'all make all the time, are currently making, do it every day and do it well with no problems and no issues. You had them children. Take care of your damn kids, girl, and stop complaining and knock it the fuck off, because I don't got time for that. Like, I don't have time. You need to watch Monique's podcast, Not for Lazy Moms, because your ass is definitely lazy, and you look like you're trying to be over here carrying it up like damn Toya doing. Don't do that and get your ass in the broke house. That's all I'm going to say. And not saying Toya is in the broke house. I'm just saying. Moving on. So Dr. Heavenly talks to Dr. Damon, and she tells them they have to get ready for Simone and Cecil's Halloween party. So she tells him about the ambush with the ladies the night before and how they really hurt her feelings and how Contessa is really angry with her and she doesn't know what to do. So Damon pretty much responds saying, listen, even though you may have the best intentions, you can't really dictate how somebody responds about the things that you do. And he said those things that you say on your channel could be hurtful to them. So you just have to give people time, and you can't change other people, and that's that on that. So then Damon said Heavenly is a leader in the group and he doesn't know if the others will change, but she can. So they're going to see the what the heck did I type? Oh, he said you have to understand that people are going to see these videos and you have to be mindful of what you say and respect people. And so I think Heavenly gets it coming from her husband because she always listening to daddy, child. So then Heavenly goes in the bathroom to undress and tells Damon not to come in. I'm like, girl, why are you telling your husband not to come in the bathroom because you naked? Like, I'm sure he done seen you naked at least 3 times. You got 3 damn kids. What the hell? And so Damon comes in the bathroom and says, "You look beautiful naked, buddy." I was like, yuck. Okay, y'all could have cut that scene out. Okay. Moving on, before we get into it, let's look at some of these comments. Oh, my boo Jessica in the chat. Jessica says, hello. What's up? What's up, Jessica? I'm so glad you made it. Jessica says, I felt like Contessa before, but not in a petty situation like this. However, I agree with Quad's take. Both sides were wrong. Yeah, I agree. I just think that, yes, you guys can address her about the channel all day, but doing it like that was just real petty. It was giving very snake behavior. Like, it had something behind it. Like, it wasn't just to prove that Heavenly needed to do better by her friends. I think it was really made to try to make Heavenly look bad, and there wasn't any context given to those clips. Contessa said it herself. She's about to be reckless towards Heavenly, and that's what this ambush was. It definitely damn sure was. The receptionist was not about to play with Toya. Girl, listen. I think I said the same thing. The receptionist was like, girl, give me this drink and get the hell on out of my damn face. I got to check in patience. I ain't got time to be playing with your ass. Jessica says, I'm disgusted by Toya doing all this pampering on herself while her husband is working himself to the bone and asking her for help. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I feel like she's like throwing it in his face that, oh yeah, I understand that you're working all day, but I'm just in here painting my toenails and getting my hair done every day because I just can, because you're making all this money. And, I can do whatever I want. I'm going to go play tennis. I'm going to go get a massage. It's all about me. It's all about me, boo. Okay? And that I'm not worrying about you. It's not like she's like, you know what, babe, you work very hard. Why can't we go? Let's go get a massage. Can you schedule at least once a week for us to go and get a massage together? I want you to really learn how to relax and take care of yourself. Or you know what? I'm on this self-care journey. I want you to be a part of it with me. Here's some ways that I think that you can pamper yourself, or we can do it together, because I want you to feel comfortable when you get home. I want you to feel solace when you get home, because you deal with so much when you're at work. Like, that's the least that she could do for her damn husband. I just feel like Toya is just gonna keep working and working and working. Daggone Eugene, she keep on spending all this money on shit and making it worse for the man. So it's like every day his days are filled with how I'm gonna pay all these damn bills that Toya is making. That's what it looks like to me anyway. Jessica says, I think it was an interpretation of Eugene's situation with Toya, but not actually said. Okay. Jessica says, the little boy is probably hungry because we know Anila can't cook. Child, when he said, who's going to make my pinto beans? I felt that was funny, but I also low-key felt bad for Sir, because I'm like, yeah. Anila don't look like she got behind no pots and pans in quite some time. Okay. Rasta, hey, what's up, Rasta 27? Rasta 27 says, hey, Shay, look at you. Love the new look. Girl, thank you. Don't get used to it, because it's about to come the hell up on out of here tonight. Y'all know I'm an extreme hip hop step instructor in my evening times, between time when I'm not doing videos. So it done sweated the hell out. So, but thank you so much. And now I'm in a new setting. The lighting in here is terrible. So, but anyway, we gotta make it do what it do. So in the next scene, y'all, Simone and Cecil have their Halloween party, and Toya and Eugene arrive. Nobody know what the hell they are, because I was confused too. They supposed to be Jay-Z and then Beyonce. Now, this Jay-Z wig, it was on point and par to what they're doing. But I was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. But hey, that's who they were. So then she says Toya says she chose that costume because they're almost billionaires. So she needs to flip more houses. Toya, people that flip houses don't flip the ones they live in. that are billionaires. I'm just saying. Okay? Because when you're a billionaire, you see, you don't have to live in the house, dress it up, and move the hell out of it. When you're a billionaire and flipping houses, you buy the house, you pay the contractors to do the work that you need to get done. You have the house for no more than 60 days. You make a profit and you move on to the next investment. That's what people that are billionaires and even multimillionaires do when they're flipping houses. Don't say I never told you anything. So moving on, Scott comes to the party, but he buys damn self. Apparently, Contessa is studying for a test or doing something. Contessa ain't want to come. That's what it is. Contessa didn't want to come to the party, and she said, "Listen, I ain't about to play with y'all. I don't want to see Heavenly, so it is what it is." So moving on, Quad is Wonder Woman, and Anila and Dr. Karen arrive as the Saja movers for the Harrises because they like to move so much. Child, I about fell in the damn flow. I said, y'all really went and rented this whole U-Haul truck so that y'all can come and make fun of these people. That was a mess. Anila, actually, you did that. Okay, it was very funny. Everybody on the cast was laughing. So I don't understand. I get why Eugene, it probably struck him in a different manner because he does realize that they're moving a lot. And now he feels like yet another time that people are bringing attention to our financial situation. And I think it's really misplaced anger. I think that he's really upset with Toya because he feels like you're on this national platform. I'm working myself to death. People are not stupid. They see what the heck is going on. So by them doing this now also brings further attention to our finances, which I'm constantly trying to work on. And it seems like I can never get my head above water because it's always something. And now we're just bringing attention to it again. And instead of him giving Toya all of the heat that he had for Dr. Karen, I think he really needs to sit down and talk to Toya. Like, I would love to see them go to a financial counselor or go to counseling and he talk to her and really express himself because it's clear that he's pissed off at how this woman manages money. It's because all of that anger that he gave the Sajas for what they did with that move truck, it was just really a lot. It was real extra. So Toya says she learned how to take negativity out of her wait a minute. That was the other scene. Contessa must have moved down. So after this whole scene, they come in. Everybody's obviously talking about Anila in this moving truck. And Toya says, you're so concerned with my life. It's so comical. And then Toya says she must be living in Anila's head. And Eugene said, if you have to dress in an outfit because of one couple, that's a problem. So Toya pulls Anila to the side to chat because she doesn't like the moving truck joke. And Anila says, Toya, you are not my friend. And Eugene says, let's go, Toya. She's crazy and so is her husband. I'm like, are they crazy though? Or just fucking hilarious? Like, that was funny. First of all, Toya, you also are trying to make this, you paid off, apparently, allegedly, there is a story out there, if y'all haven't watched my previous video, Urban Belle magazine. Audra is going to come on the show. You saw her husband at the last scene with the men. So Audra is coming on the show, and in the article, it basically details how Toya going to be like really coming for this lady. And they've had an exchange of words, I guess, throughout a series of episodes. And Audra, that's what she does. Actually, Heavenly talked about it in this episode. Actually, in her YouTube video, Heavenly talked about it in her recent YouTube video when she reviewed the show. And she said that's Audra's job. She looks up permits. She looks up, liens, and she looks up people's finances when they're looking to purchase a home. So apparently Audra looked up Toya's liens on her. She had 7 liens on her house, the house that was supposed to be their dream home. She had 7 liens on that house. I don't know what those liens consisted of, but Toya keeps saying she profited $1 million off of the house, which technically when you have liens on the house, depending on how much those liens cost, you didn't profit $1 million because when you have a lien on your house, you can't physically sell your home until all of those bills or outstanding bills are paid. Okay. So Audra, in the article, it said that she brought light to all of this. And she's like, sis, you didn't make $1 million on this house. Not even. Like, You didn't make no money off of this house. So basically, it looks like Toya may have sold, which, and if she in fact did that, that's a smart decision for her to sell the house, pay off all your debts, start a clean slate, and go ahead and now build your dream home, hopefully for the last time. And now I feel like Toya gonna build this house and try to make it bigger than Anila's and Quad's, because that's just how she got to be, go big or go to somebody else's home and rent it. Okay. But I just feel like, why keep on spending all this money? Why keep putting yourself into these financial situations? Get a house that is feasible and reasonable for your family. It don't got to be 10,000 square feet. Just get something modest and pay off the house and move forward with your life. You're 46. Toya, I think, is 44 years old at this point. Like, mortgages are 30 years. Ain't nobody trying to be paying their house off when they 70 plus. Like, girl, just stop. Just, there definitely needs to be some intervention here financially, because this need to constantly keep up with the Joneses and look better than everybody else is sad. And if you look at all the other women in this group, they're all doing something along with their husbands. Like, their husbands have financial income coming in, and so do they. Substantial income at that. So Toya just really need to look at herself, not her self-care, but look at herself within and make some better choices financially. So moving on, in the next scene, the guys are seen chatting, and Cecil says he isn't trying to start anything, but he thought the moving van was pretty funny. And Karen said maybe if they were in a good, Curtis says maybe if Dr. Karen and Eugene, or Toya and Anila, were in a good space, it would have been funny for Eugene and Toya. And Eugene pops in and says, definitely not ever going to be funny. I don't care if they were in a good space or not. That's not funny to me. So he was really pissed. Like I said, misplaced anger. And he just said it is really messed up. So he goes on, and Eugene, so the men are talking about it. Dr. Karen says they move all the time, so that's what it is. And Eugene says everybody loves being all in my business. I'm gonna get my wife and be out of here. So he grabs Toya and he wants to roll out. So Toya's like, where are we? Like, why you want to leave? And he's like, I don't got time for this. So Simone stops them and tells them, listen, please don't leave. Just enjoy the party. So they just kind of stay tucked off to the side. They don't leave, but they're not mingling with the other couples at this point. So Heavenly pulls Quad to the side to apologize to her about her comments about her sleeping with a married man. And she says she doesn't think that she sleeps with married men. And Quad says it hurts her because people know they are friends. So it makes it look like it's real and it's valid because it's coming from somebody that's close to her. And so she said, moving forward, she needs to be conscious of what she says about her. And in her confessional, she says, and if Heavenly says anything else about me, I'm going to forego the friendship. I'm like, Quad, if you don't get the stiff face, child, okay, we get it. You gonna get rid of Heavenly if she say something else about you, girl. Girl, bye, whatever. Okay. Heavenly, don't talk about Quad, child, because you're gonna lose a damn friend. So anyway, in the last scene, the men go axe throwing and they discuss the issue between Eugene and Karen. And Phil Martin, the new guy, which is Audra's husband, in on what happened because he obviously wasn't invited to the party. So Curtis says he feels that Karen should apologize, and Eugene agrees. He's like, listen, if he apologizes, everything's, slate clean. We can move forward because I'm not even really that mad over it right now. I'm good. Which you are still mad, Eugene. I can see it all in your eyebrows. All right. So then Karen arrives and they say, oh, well, we were just talking about you. So Eugene says he was offended and disappointed to be put up as the butt of a joke because he's never offended Karen at all. So he didn't understand why he thought that was cool. So Karen says he's sorry that, him and that Eugene and Toya are offended, but he still thinks it's fucking funny. I'm like, woo, you just gonna dig your feet in the sand with this one. Okay, child. So Eugene says you're doubling down on an insult. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say jokes. Eugene says, so you're doubling down on this insult? And Karen says, I'm sorry, I won't say jokes, and I'll be the dullest motherfucker here. And Eugene gets up and says, call me a motherfucker again. I'm like, woo, child. Karen, you might be sticking your foot in some bug. Okay, Eugene don't look like he be playing around. Eugene is the type that he doesn't play about his family, and I think that that joke meant so much to him because now you're having people looking at their finances again, which is like I said, something that he works very hard to maintain for his family and to, have them living a certain lifestyle. And for you to do that, and it's obvious why they're moving all the time. Okay. Nobody is dumb. Everybody sees it from the TV, from the cast, from everything. But I think that Eugene is just really handling this so extra. But Karen is handling it like, I don't give a fuck. Like, this is funny. My wife brought this costume up. I ain't even question it. Like I said, oh, that's a good idea. Let's do it. Let's look at the comments before I get out of here. I was ready for Anila. Jessica with a K says, I was ready for Anila or someone to shut Toya down a little. I feel bad for Eugene, but he's grown and he's part of a repeating cycle of making bad financial choices. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he's the one that can directly affect these poor decisions. Like, he can basically put Toya on a budget and say, listen, this is your allowance for the month, and that's that on that. And it's sad that he has to do that because it's like he got to go work and now be the financial counselor. Y'all, all that money that Toya is spending on her self-care, take that and give it to an accountant or a financial consultant that can help you with your bills, because clearly she's not doing a good job. Roster 27 says, I don't like Toya. That girl acts like she has no brain. She is never satisfied. She's not. Like, Toya is one of those ditzy girls that she's like, "Ooh, I got a man with some money. I'm gonna go ahead and spend his money. I'm gonna live my best life, and I'm gonna do me." She's gonna be one of those women that if Eugene, God forbid, which I don't think he would, if he ever left her, she would be in such despair because she would be an Erica Jane from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where she's just so stunted in life that she would just be living off of I used to be able to do this. I wish I could do that, instead of picking herself up by the bootstraps and moving on with her life. Jessica with a K says, Kieran said, nah, that ish was funny. He did. He was like, you know what? F what you talking about. That was some real live funny shit. So you better get over it. Jessica with the K says, I wouldn't have handled it like Karen did, but I did get my whole life when he said that. Girl, you and me both, because I was like, listen, he gives no fucks, okay? He gives no fucks whatsoever right now. Karen is like, you better get with it. Like, this is just funny, and it is what it is. Like, why are you so butthurt? But y'all, thank y'all for watching. I will be right back on to do my Love and Marriage DC review. Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna get me a little drink or two, and get myself ready for that. But I'll be back on for Love and Marriage DC, and then directly following that, I will be doing the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we're gonna be hanging out tonight, y'all. So I hope y'all ready. Come on back and see you, girl. So please, 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 before you leave, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that's watching these shows too. And also, be sure to look in my comments, get you a Healthy Expressions t-shirt, and visit holisticthings.com for all things that are healthy, okay? And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.